Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell.
Oh, pardon me. You know where I might find Mr. Richard Diamond?
You want to hire him?
Yes.
Well, stop being so bashful, friend. Come in.
Thank you. You're Mr. Diamond?
Well, any resemblance to the Irish washerwoman is purely intentional.
Do you always do your own laundry?
Always. Keeps my petty cash from looking too petty. Sit down, Mr.
Baxter. Clay Baxter from Okmulgee, Oklahoma.
Clay Baxter from Okmulgee, Oklahoma. Was a man, I guess, to be in his early 50s. Straight up, he crowded 6'3", counting the 2-inch heels on his handmade boots. Looking at him, I thought of an old Remington print and suddenly felt like singing a chorus of Home on the Range.
I'd like you to come to Okmulgee with me, Mr. Diamond.
Well, why, Mr. Baxter?
My brother was killed yesterday. The sheriff and the coroner said it was an accident. I don't believe it.
How did you happen to look me up?
I raise cattle, Mr. Diamond. I do a great deal of business in Chicago and New York. I wanted a detective with experience, someone with a good reputation.
Bless you.
I called a friend on Wall Street, and he recommended several men. One of them was you. I checked your background. I'm satisfied.
Oh, good. I charge $100 a day in expenses.
Chicken feed. I'll pay it, and if you catch the man who done it, I'll give you a $1,000 bonus.
Oh, well, now, I can't leave right away. It'll take me at least 5 minutes to get my affairs in order.
Yeah, I can certainly see you appreciate a buck.
Mr. Baxter, I appreciate a buck like a Texan appreciates Texas.
Texas? Never heard of it.
How was your brother supposed to have been killed?
Thrown from his horse, skull fracture.
And you don't believe it?
I do not.
Why?
Too good a horseman.
Well, it could have happened.
Well, if it did, he'd have taken the fall right. Might have busted something, but wouldn't have killed him.
Anything else?
His wife. My brother was a wealthy man, Mr. Diamond. His wife will inherit everything. Ranch, cattle, all worth about 8 or 10 million.
You think she had something to do with his death?
You tell me, Mr. Diamond.
I called Helen, told her I was off to Okmulgee. Promised I'd send her a couple of Navajos or whatever they had out there. Then I took Clay Baxter over to my flat and threw a few things into a suitcase.
Oklahoma's dry.
So's Richard Diamond.
Might get arrested.
I don't want to leave it here.
Wouldn't make any difference if it was empty, would it?
No.
Got a couple of glasses.
A fifth usually adds up to a full evening, but that's only when Clay Baxter isn't around. When he poured one for the road, the water line receded 6 inches. I had a quick one, and he finished it.
How'd that soldier?
How do you feel?
Oh, lively.
Why don't we forget the plane? You just start running for the window, and I'll climb on. Okmulgee, Oklahoma. Population 17,091, according to the last census, and very hot in August. Baxter's station wagon's waiting at the airport, and the driver took us into town where I was introduced to the local law.
This here's Sheriff Billings.
How are you, Sheriff?
Jim, this is Mr. Diamond. He's a private detective from New York.
Howdy, Diamond.
Howdy.
Private detective, huh?
Oh, I've been called other things.
Still ain't satisfied, huh, Clay?
Not yet. And you ain't either, and you know it, Jim.
How about it, Sheriff? You think Mr. Baxter's brother was killed deliberately?
Coroner says it was an accident. Hit his head on a rock.
That ain't what Mr. Diamond asked.
Will Baxter was a pretty good rider, but he could have been thrown. All the evidence says he was. Could see plain where his horse bolted.
What could have made his horse shy?
Snake, maybe.
Not that horse, and you know it, Jim.
Well, maybe stepped in a chuck hole. He was limping right bad when he got back to the barn.
No signs of anyone else near the body?
Well, when I got there, some of Will's boys had already ridden out.
Who found him?
Couple old miners. Luke and Phineas Merriweather.
Well, let's go out to the ranch, Mr. Baxter, and take another look at the spot where your brother died.
Will Baxter's ranch is 40 miles from here, Mr. Diamond.
Maybe you'd like to go out to my place and freshen up a bit first. You go ahead and shave and shower. I'm going to go build me a drink.
Hey, this is quite a place, Mr. Baxter.
Glad you like it. Take a swim in the pool if you'd want, but watch out for the catfish.
Catfish?
I'm a bachelor. Don't use the pool much, and I don't usually have guests. Love catfish for dinner, so I keep them in the pool.
I caught a guy once floating bodies in his bathtub.
You don't say. Funny, Harvey.
I showered and shaved and met Baxter out by the pool where he was feeding his catfish. I watched a pound of liver disappear like lychee nuts in the tongue war. And we all headed back to town where we picked up Sheriff Billings. 40 miles later, we pulled up in front of the late Will Baxter's ranch. A little different architecture, but just as impressive as my client's.
Clay. Afternoon, Sheriff.
Oh, Wilma.
Wilma.
Wilma, here's Mr. Richard Diamond. Wilma Baxter, my brother's wife.
How do you do?
How do you do, Mr. Diamond?
Private detective. Come up from New York.
Oh? Well, why don't we all go in the house? It's too hot out here.
Mr. Diamond wants to go out and look at the spot where Will got himself killed.
Certainly. Have one of the boys fix you up with some horses. When you're done, why not stop back for dinner?
Mr. Diamond's eating with me, and he's going to be pretty busy for a while.
Now, I'll give you a rain check, Mr. Diamond.
Thank you.
I'd like you to tell me about New York. It's been a long time, and I've almost forgotten what it's like.
Let's go, Jim. It's getting late.
Bye, Mr. Diamond. Nice meeting you.
Goodbye, Mrs. Baxter.
Seems all broken up, don't she?
Yeah. Where was she when her husband got killed?
Perfect alibi. In town all day. A lot of people saw her. Mighty fine-looking woman.
Mighty. We all rode down to the stables, and one of the hands saddled up 3 horses, and we started out across the open desert. For a man who had spent all his life riding around in taxicabs, the experience was just short of agonizing.
Just up ahead, Diamond.
Swell.
Never rode much, did you?
No, I always bounce like this. Like to make my money belt jingle.
Well, here it is. Whoa.
Yeah. Whoa.
Well, here's where they found the body.
Now, what did he hit his head on?
That rock right there.
Mm-hmm. Did you take an impression of the wound to see if it matched?
Nope.
Oh, why not?
Never thought about it.
Well, that's a pretty good reason. Anyway, let's dig that rock out and take it back with us. I spent the next minutes limping around looking for something and came up with nothing except a longing for a hot Epsom salts bath. We dug up the large rock and took it back with us to Wilma Baxter's ranch.
Whoa! 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 Whoa!
Oh. Howdy, Sheriff.
Howdy, Frank. This here's Mr. Diamond, Frank. Diamond, this is Frank Kelly, the ranch foreman.
Howdy.
Detective fella, huh? Miss Baxter told me about you. Said you was doing some investigating.
Yes, sirree.
Scientific investigation. The way the city boys do it.
What you going to do with that raw?
A hopscotch. Oh, on second thought, I think we'll take turns untying the knots in my back.
Good warm shower, and you'll feel fit as a fiddle.
Well, I got a good start. I'm shaped like one.
You'll find it a little bit rough out here, Diamond.
Oh, I'll get used to it, Mr. Kelly.
I hope you're right. Ain't much like the big city.
Oh? Just what is the big city like, Mr. Kelly?
I ain't never been there. Just what I've noticed. Looks like a man can get pretty soft living in the city.
Well, I'd like to show you where I was brought up sometime, Mr. Kelly. We never got around to playing cowboy, though. We were too busy kicking each other's teeth out.
See you later, Mr. Baxter. So long, Sheriff.
I don't think Frank likes you, Diamond.
What about Will Baxter's horse? I'd like to take a look at him.
Right over there in that stall.
Really pulled up lame.
Oh, good horse. Never figured to shy at anything.
Man, look at that.
His hip's swollen.
Yeah, really twisted something. Steady, boy. Steady.
Hey, that looks like an infection.
Yeah, it's a funny thing. It kind of does.
What are you getting at, Mr. Diamond?
Oh, I'm not getting into thing, Mr. Baxter. I just said it looked like an infection.
Yeah, we better tell Mrs. Baxter or Frank. Have someone take care of it.
Tell me, boys, if you jabbed a horse with something, would that make him bolt? Come on, I want to get back to town and talk with the coroner.
Now, look here, Jim. Ain't my word good enough?
Why, sure it is, Coroner, but Clay hired Mr. Diamond to do some investigating, and he's doing it.
Clay, I tell you, your brother died from natural causes.
I don't think so.
But if you insist, I'll show this detective fella the body.
I want the head wound matched with this rock.
Okay, but the mortuary ain't gonna like it. They got him all ready to bury.
The coroner led me across the street and into a funeral parlor where I took a look at the late Will Baxter. 6 years with the 5th Precinct homicide and a couple of dozen killings should have conditioned me. But like always, the first look shakes something loose in the middle of my stomach, and I have to keep swallowing hard.
Looks right natural, don't he, Clay?
Yeah.
They do a good job here.
Bully for them.
And he hit his head right here. Concussion, plain and simple.
No other marks or bruises?
No.
While the coroner rolled the late Will Baxter into one of the back rooms and made a comparison with the head wound and the rock we'd brought in from the ranch, we went out on the front porch for some air. I lit a cigarette and thought about an old case I'd worked on 5 or 6 years before.
You got a cigarette?
Sure, Doc. Picayune all right?
Fine thing.
Head wound doesn't match the rock.
Sure doesn't. Wound is too deep. Rock's round and flat. Nothing sticking up to go that deep.
Then I want an autopsy.
Why? Fracture still killed him.
I doubt it. When someone plans a murder, they don't count on one blow to do the trick.
But there's nothing else that could have done it.
Well, nothing you can see. I've met someone here in Okmulgee that I'm pretty sure is wanted for another killing very similar to this. Now, Doc, go make that autopsy and fast.
You think maybe you found something, Diamond? You think Will was killed deliberately?
Maybe, but we'll have to wait for the autopsy. In the meantime, I'd like to go out and visit those 2 old-timers.
Luke and Phineas?
That's right, Sheriff.
Well, it's mighty dangerous. Come on, I'll take you out.
You better wait here for the report. Mr. Baxter and I'll go on out.
All right, you can use my horses, so you won't have to go all the way back to the ranch.
Horses?
Well, the Merriweathers are on the other side of town, out about 10 miles, no roads.
Oh, horses. 10 miles. I mean, never play kick the can again. Oh.
You really don't take to horses, do you, Diamond?
Maybe if you could find me a nice, long, thin one. Holy Ike. Whoa, steady.
That's one of the Merriweathers.
Well, let's get out of here. Come on, horse. Now, come on, I'm yellow, and I admit it.
Now, it's okay, Diamond. That's just the boys' way of letting you know not to come any farther, unless they say so.
Oh, swell greetings. What happens now?
Hey, up there! Luke! In here!
What you want?
It's Clay Baxter. I got a friend here who wants to talk to you.
Phineas? Yeah, Luke? Hey, Baxter. Got some friend who wants to palaver. I don't feel like palavering. Better shoot him.
Giddy up.
Just take it easy. Take it easy. They always act like this.
Phineas don't want to palaver. I gotta shoot you if you don't promote.
It's important. About my brother.
Phineas? Yeah, Luke? It's about his brother, the dead one we found t'other day. Oh, all right, I guess. Let one of them come up. Baxter?
Yeah, Luke?
Send your friend on up.
And up I went, leaving my better judgment running off across the desert. I climbed a small hill and found myself standing at the entrance of an old mine shaft. Luke and Phineas and Merriweather stood on either side, shotguns ready, pointed right at my chest.
Start talking.
Well, gentlemen, my name is Diamond.
Don't pay no import to names. What do you want?
Just wanted to ask some questions about the man you found the other day.
You a policeman?
Well, kind of.
Shoot him.
Oh, now, wait a minute. I'm not a real policeman.
Then what are you?
I'm a private detective.
Luke? Yeah.
What's the matter? It's an honest profession. Fellow's got to make a living.
You a real live private detective?
Well, I'm a private detective. The real life part I'm depending on.
Well, my goodness gracious. Come on in and have some victuals.
Huh?
Why, mister, me and Finney read all them stories about you fellas. Uh-huh. We filled up one whole tunnel with old detective magazines. You fellas really are something. Wait a minute.
What's wrong?
Let's see your badge.
Oh, yeah. Sure. There you are.
Oh, yes, sir. Well, I'll be dogged. Come on in, friend. Come on in. I'd like to ask you some questions about this here Dick Tracy fella.
Well, 1 minute I'd faced 2 shotguns. The next I was turned into an honored guest. I had coffee and biscuits with Luke and Phineas and answered enough questions about the private detective business to fill a dime novel of my own. I squeezed in enough questions to find out that the boys hadn't seen or found anything unusual when they discovered Will Baxter's body. 4 cups of coffee and a dozen biscuits later, I bid the Merryweathers a fond farewell and returned to Clay Baxter.
They loved you?
Oh, worshipped me. They're starting a Richard Diamond fan club.
Well, did you find out anything?
No.
Well, give me your hand. I'll help you up on your horse.
Oh, couldn't I just walk back? Come on, horse. Hold still. Steady, boy. Clay Baxter, sitting in his saddle, had leaned down and grabbed my hand to help me up on my horse, and that was when he got it. His horse took out with the wounded man still up and hanging on. I booted my horse in the ribs. Oh! I took off after Baxter like citation on a good day. I closed my eyes, prayed a little, and tried to remember every jockey I'd ever seen before. Suddenly, I looked up and spotted Baxter's horse dead ahead, standing still and right in my path. Whoa! Oh!
Well, I guess it's just my time. If I don't die from this bullet I got in me, I'm going to do it from laughing.
How is he, Doc?
Oh, he'll be all right. Collarbone. Didn't break anything. How do you feel, Mr. Diamond?
Crippled.
Any idea who shot Clay?
No.
Clay said he thought it might have been the Merryweather boys.
No, it couldn't have been.
Why not?
Well, the Merryweather boys use shotguns, not rifles. What about that autopsy, Doc? Well, come on, what about it?
You was right. Will Baxter didn't die from a skull fracture.
What was it?
I don't know what was used for sure. A long, thin instrument. Whoever did it pulled the lower eyelid down, killed Will Baxter by jabbing something through the eye into his brain.
Probably hit him over the head to knock him off the horse, and then got down and made sure.
And then jabbed his horse in the flank to make him bolt.
Nasty way to kill him, man.
That's been done before. It's not a man's way of killing.
Wilma Baxter was in town all day.
When Clay comes around, tell him I borrowed his station wagon.
Going out to see Wilma?
Going out to her ranch. I want to take another look at Will Baxter's lame horse. And, Doc, I want to borrow a pair of surgical probes. I climbed into the station wagon. Close to an hour later, I pulled up on the side of the road. The gate to the ranch house was another 100 yards up ahead. So I piled out, climbed the tall white fence, and slipped into the barn. Steady, fella. Steady. Steady. The horse's left flank was still swollen and very close to a serious infection. I ran my hand over the spot. Steady, boy. There was something still stuck in the flesh, so I used the surgical probes and prayed the horse wouldn't kick my brains out. Whoa, whoa. Steady, boy. Steady. There. Sorry, fellow.
I didn't know you were a vet, Mr. Diamond.
Huh? Oh, good evening, Mrs. Baxter.
You know, in this part of the country, you can get shot for horse stealing.
Oh, not stealing. Just taking this out of your horse's flank.
What is it?
That's a piece of a long needle. Might be a hat pin or something.
I think you'd better tell me what this is all about.
Oh, certainly. Your husband was murdered.
That's impossible.
Suit yourself, but he was. Somebody hit him over the head, knocked him from his horse, jabbed this needle into his eye, then jabbed it into the horse's flank so the horse would pull up lame, look like he'd shied. The killer tried to shoot me this evening, but he missed and got Clay Baxter instead.
Who do you think did this?
I don't know. The method doesn't fit a man.
A woman, then?
Well, the blow on the back of the head rules out a woman. Too much force.
What have you got left?
What I started with. A man. And a woman.
Very interesting theory.
Mm-hmm. You're from New York, aren't you?
I've been there.
I thought so. Your face is familiar.
I haven't been in New York in at least 10 years, Mr. Diamond.
Oh, funny. Well, I've got to go out to the Merryweathers.
Are those 2 old miners who found my husband?
Mm-hmm. They saw the murderer.
What?
Yeah, that's why I know how it was done. I was out there earlier, and I've got to go back after a sworn statement.
Well, why didn't they speak up before this?
Afraid. Said it was none of their business. See you later, Mrs. Baxter.
Have another biscuit, Inspector.
No thanks, fellas. 10's plenty.
So, Will Baxter was murdered, huh?
That's right, and Mrs. Baxter thinks you two saw who did the killing.
Gonna lay a trap, huh?
Yes, Luke, gonna lay a trap.
Mm.
Now, look, I remembered Mrs. Baxter from someplace the first time I saw her. Then when I found out how the murder was committed, I recalled a case very similar back in New York. Man was hit over the head, pushed down a flight of stairs, and his brain pierced by a hat pin. A man actually did it, but a woman planned it. The man was caught, but the woman disappeared.
Why'd they do it?
The victim was insured. They wanted to make it look like an accident. Well, come on, we better spread out. We should have company pretty soon. The two old-timers took off their coats and gave me some beat-up pants, which I stuffed with pillows and blankets. In 5 minutes flat, I had two dummies sitting with me at the little table.
You think they'll fall for it?
Well, you can't tell, but you two go on outside and wait until somebody comes in. I just want him to try for one of the dummies.
Well, what if he tries for you?
Killjoy. Luke and Phineas took their place outside the mine, and I smoked a dozen cigarettes, and then I heard someone coming in, moving quietly up the tunnel toward the light. I played it big. Well, that's fine, Phineas. Now, if you'll just sign this statement. I rolled, and the dummy that represented Phineas Merriweather doubled over from the force of the slug. He shot again, and Luke's dummy toppled. I kicked the lamp out before he got around to yours truly.
2 down and 1 to go, Diamond.
I'm afraid I got a big surprise for you, friend.
I ain't worried.
You should be. There wasn't even close. You're a lousy shot.
Yeah,
You missed earlier this evening and got Clay Baxter instead.
I'll make up for it.
No, you won't, friend. Drop it. You heard him drop it.
Okay, all right, don't you?
Wait a minute. Where'll I get the light?
Hey, it's a Kelly fella.
Yeah, you're getting way out of line for a ranch foreman, Kelly.
Give it to him, Mr. Diamond.
Who had you kill Will Baxter? You know, Kelly, you said something today about getting soft in the city. Wonder just how soft I've gotten.
Maybe you'd like to find out.
Turn him loose, boys.
Yes, sir. Go on now, go to it, Mr. Diamond.
I don't like getting shot at. It makes me real unhappy when anyone runs around killing people.
No, stop him, good. Shut up, Finney, and let him fight.
Now, Kelly, why'd you kill Will Baxter?
Wilma Baxter talked me into it, promised me a share of the ranch.
And for that, you killed a man, huh?
It's a big ranch.
Oh, get up.
Sure hate to see you leave, Mr. Diamond.
I hate to go myself, boys. Love them biscuits.
Maybe we'll get up and see you in New York sometime.
Hey, Kelly's coming, too. Doesn't like being tied to his horse like that, I guess.
Finny.
Yeah, Duke?
Fella's coming, too. Hit him with something.
Sure.
Richard Diamond, private detective, has come to you through the worldwide facilities of the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.
Here is another in NBC's great parade of new shows. Now, Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, private detective.
Hello there, this is Diamond. I'm a private detective. And as long as I've been in this business, I've found only 4 things that really make this racket worthwhile. Women, money, women, and more money. Don't misunderstand me. I've got other habits, too. I drink lots of milk, go to the fights, dance meanest rumba west of Ebbetsfield and write fan letters to June Allison. But no matter how you slice it up, it still boils down to the same ghastly facts. To drink the gallons of milk, you've got to have loot. To go to the fights, you've still got to have it. But you add a little something, or a big something, as the case may be. That's right, a woman. Then if you're going dancing, you like to go to a nice place. Nice place. That's an 8 by 10 dance floor supported by bodies of patrons who couldn't pay the $12 minimum. So now you get into more money, and there you are. Women, money, more women, and more money. About the fan letters to June Allison? No, who knows? She never writes back anyway. To show you how I make this money that gets me into so much trouble, let me tell you about a case I got mixed up in. It all started last week during a seance.
Quiet, please, quiet. Now, if you will please place your hands on the table, Mrs. Van Dyke. Lightly, just the fingers touching.
Dr. Langley, I'm so excited.
Please, Mrs. Van Dyke. Professor must have complete silence.
Oh, I'm sorry, but what's he doing?
He's going into his trance.
Dr. Langley?
He's contacted the outer circle.
I feel your presence. Who are you?
Doctor, that voice is calling me.
Not too loud. You'll break the contact.
But Myrna's my first name.
Listen.
Spirit, speak again. Who are you?
I am Lillian Van Dyke.
That's Mother. Mother.
Mrs. Van Dyke, you must relax. If you continue to disturb the contact, your mother will leave.
I'm sorry.
Oh, Spirit, I feel that you have a message for someone in this room. Spirit, have you such a message?
I have.
Then speak.
Myrna,
Yes, Mother.
you are in grave danger. Guard yourself. Rely on Dr. Langley. He will help.
Yes, Mother. What else? Mother?
Contact has been broken. Your mother will not return again today.
Will I be able to speak with her again, Professor? I must speak with her again. She said I was in some kind of danger.
If you will return here tomorrow, Mrs. Van Dyke.
Mother said to rely on you, Doctor. I intend to.
I assure you, your confidence will be rewarded, Mrs. Van Dyke. In the meantime, I suggest you go home and get some rest.
Yes, this experience has been rather trying. Goodbye, Professor. I shall see you tomorrow.
Until tomorrow, dear lady.
Coming, Doctor?
I wish to consult with the professor for a moment. I'll be right along.
Very well, Doctor. I'll wait in the car. Goodbye again, Professor, and bless you.
Goodbye, and bless you, you old goat.
Take it easy. Wait till she gets out the front door.
Okay. Now look, Langley. When are we going to pull the job? I'm getting tired of drumming up banshees for old moneybags. Let's get those jewels.
Look, tomorrow her mother is going to tell her that someone is after her precious jewel collection.
Tell her. She'll lock him up in Fort Knox if that happens.
Oh, I'm surprised at you, Professor. What if her dear old departed mother tells her to leave them with me for safekeeping?
I get it. By the time she gets wise, we'll be in Mexico.
Right. I'll see you tomorrow morning before Van Dyke gets here. We'll plan what we want the voice to say. And for Pete's sake, tell that old witch to sound like a ghost for a change. She came on today like Apple Mary with a hangover.
Mr. Diamond?
That's right. Come on in, but watch the clothesline.
Oh, you've been washing. Aren't these a little loud?
You should stop around when I'm doing socks.
My name is Van Dyke, Mr. Diamond. Nancy Van Dyke.
Miss?
Mm-hmm.
Well, bully for our side. What can I do for you, Miss Van Dyke?
I'm worried about my aunt, Mr. Diamond.
Why? Is she playing shortstop for Brooklyn?
I don't think I understand that.
You're not alone, but I have to keep trying. Why are you worried about your aunt, Miss Van Dyke?
Well, lately she's been seeing a man who calls himself Dr. Langley.
Uh-huh. Are you of the Long Island Van Dykes?
We used to live on Long Island. Why?
Well, if you're the same family, you say piggy bank instead of U.S. Mint.
We are quite wealthy.
Uh-huh. That's like saying Scarface had a gun collection. You think this Dr. Langley is after your aunt's money, is that it?
Yes. He's been taking her to see a clairvoyant, and she claims that he produced her dead mother and that she talked with her.
Maybe she's been getting tips on the market.
My aunt says that this apparition, or whatever it is, warned her of impending danger.
What's the medium's name?
He calls himself Professor Leonardo.
Uh-huh. What else did the ghost have to say?
Well, she said, or it said, to trust Dr. Langley, and that's exactly what my aunt started to do. She even consults him on matters of business. He's completely sold her on this phony Professor Leonardo, and unless I miss my guess, he's got a wandering eye for her jewelry collection. She had it out, and she was showing it to him last evening.
What do you want me to do?
I want you to prove that this Dr. Langley and the professor are charlatans.
Well, in my business, charlatan is a nice word. These guys are either legit or phony. So if you want me to find out, the fee is $100 a day in expenses.
Well, I'll give you a retainer. Is $200 all right?
Have you ever seen 200 that wasn't? What's your aunt's name and address?
Mrs. Myrna Van Dyke, 326 Park Avenue. There's your 200, Mr. Diamond.
Thank you.
If you prove these men are phonies, please report it to my aunt. Then stop by my place, and I'll pay you the rest of your fee. 741 Madison Avenue.
Miss Van Dyke, did you ever model bathing suits?
No, Mr. Diamond. But I have a very nice one. I got it in the south of France last season. I'll show it to you sometime.
I hope it won't be on a hanger. Goodbye, Miss Van Dyke. Well, I had 200 fat clams in my little hot hand, and an assignment that didn't look like it was going to be too tough to crack. I needed some information on the professor and the doctor, so I headed for the 5th Precinct Police Station and Walt Levinson's office.
Yeah, what is... Oh, no. What do you want, Shamus?
Why, Sergeant Otis, what will the lieutenant say when he finds your big feet all over his desk?
He won't say nothing. He ain't here.
Well, how'd you ever figure that out? Where is he?
Out of town.
Doing what?
Doing his vacation, that's what.
Don't tell me he left you in charge.
Yeah. What's the matter with that?
If you've got a few days, I'll tell you about it. Leaving you in charge of homicide is like stopping a leaky faucet with bubble gum.
I ain't in charge of homicide, wise guy, but I could do it if I had to. He just asked me to watch his office and take the call.
He'd get better results with a parrot. Well, I want some information, Sergeant. Who do I see?
Me.
I could see more in a barrel of mud.
Now, you better lay off, Gumshoe. I got instructions to throw you out if you get out of line.
Oh, Sergeant, it's nothing personal. You've got beautiful eyes, and, I love all three of them. It's just that you're obnoxious.
Well, okay. But you start calling me any nasty names and you go out of here,
Sergeant.
Well, you do. Now, what do you want?
I want your file on buncoitis.
Okay. You gonna look up some of your relatives?
Oh, that was a real garter snapper, Sergeant.
Yeah, here's the file.
You can do me one more favor. Look up Professor Leonardo. He's a spiritualist.
Oh, drunk, huh? I'll get the file.
Oh, no, Sergeant. In the phone book, he's like a fortune teller.
Oh, one of them guys.
That's right. Wow. Well.
Find something?
Yeah, I was looking for this guy, too.
Let's see. Dr. R.L. Langley. Alias Dr. Fred Bishop. Alias Dr. Leopold Karnofsky. Hey, this guy's been busy. 2 convictions. Bunco artist. According to this, the guy goes after old dames and gives them a good fleecing.
You're positively brilliant, Sergeant.
It ain't nothing.
It is when you do it. Did you find the phone number of the professor?
Yeah, right here. Professor Leonardo, fortune teller, and clairvoyant. Okay?
Oh, want to use the phone?
Sure. Only leave a nickel.
I wish I had your nose full of them.
Professor Leonardo's Psychic Sanctuary.
My name's Appleknocker, Harold Appleknocker. I'd like to make an appointment with Professor Leonardo.
Just what seems to be your problem?
Well, you see, it's like this. I have a 1,000-acre hog ranch in Kentucky, and last week my brother Oney got lit up on juniper juice and fell in a water. It was a pretty deep one, and he done drowned. I was wondering if you could fix it so I could talk with him.
Who recommended you to us?
Ain't nobody recommended nothing. I just looked it up in the phone book.
Well, the professor is rather busy, and his time is expensive. I'm afraid...
Oh, shuckins. I ain't worried about money or nothing. I make $40,000 a year just off in the hogs, not to mention the still I got going back on the hills.
Still?
Yeah, got it camouflaged. Only time a revenuer ever got suspicious was when he saw the moon on the door. It was backwards.
The price is $50 a reading and $100 if the professor is able to contact your brother.
Fine. I'm going to be busy at the stockyards this afternoon, and I'd like to drop around this evening if I could.
How would 8 o'clock be?
Just dandy.
Goodbye, then, Mr. Appleknocker.
Bye, you all.
Hey, what's going on?
I'm going to have my fortune told, Sergeant. If you want to come along, you can put your shoes if you want, and come along. Come
you're
along.
nuts.
Oh, you're just lonesome. Bye, y'all. I left the 5th Precinct and headed for 975 Park Avenue. The way the case looked to date, I was going to be working that night, and my lovely redhead would be unhappy if she had to sit home. Sometimes you get a case that's fun, and this looked like one of those times, so I decided to take Helen with me to Professor Leonardo's.
Rick, a fortune teller?
Yeah, he brings the dead back, too. Want to go?
If he doesn't dig up some of your old jokes.
Oh, you are a vicious female.
Just for that, old Harold Appleknocker is going to show up alone.
Harold Appleknocker?
Yep, raise hogs. You know, this little piggy went to market.
Rick, that tickle.
Don't you and Sergeant Otis ever wear shoes?
Oh, I like to run around in my bare feet. It's hot.
That's only 90. What would you do on the Sahara? Don't answer that.
What time will we do at this spook parlor?
Oh, 8 o'clock. That's 2 hours. In the meantime, let's start a little seance of our own. First, you start by holding hands.
Yes. Oh, are you Mr. Appleknocker?
Oh, yep, that's me, and this here's my girl, Lulabelle.
Howdy.
Yes. Well, won't you come in? Professor Leonardo isn't back yet, but if you'll just be seated in here, he should be in at any moment.
Well, just look at this here room. What are all them figures all over the wall?
Those are the signs of the zodiac.
Hey, look at there, Harold. That's a goat.
Well, so it is. Bless my little pointed head. Used to raise goats, too, along with the hogs.
That's the professor now. Good evening, Professor.
Good evening. Oh, this must be Mr. Applesucker.
Appleknocker, Professor. And this here's my girl.
Lulu Bell.
Yep, that's right.
Howdy.
Yes. Well, Mr. Appleknocker, I understand you want me to contact your dear departed brother.
Well, he wasn't so dear, but he sure done departed. Fell in a pig waller.
Of course. Now, if you just take these chairs around this table.
Where do you want him to go?
No. I mean, sit in them. You right here, Mr. Appleknocker, and you right next to him,
Lulabelle.
Yes, Lulabelle.
Howdy.
Yes, howdy. I mean, if you please, turn off the light.
Yes, Professor.
Hey, Lulabelle.
Yeah?
This is fun, ain't it?
Yeah.
Now, I must have complete silence, please. Did you laugh, Mr.
Lulabelle?
Yes, Lulabelle.
Howdy.
Never mind. Now, silence, please. I'm going into a trance. I call to the world beyond. I wish to speak to the spirit of only Applehanger.
Appleknocker.
Correction, the name is Appleknocker.
Lulabelle.
Howdy.
I feel your presence. Who are you, spirit? Speak.
I'm only Appleknocker.
Well, Oni, how the deuce are you?
Please, you break the contact.
Well, ain't it okay if I ask him a few questions?
It's not the usual procedure, but we seem to be establishing a precedent tonight. Go ahead.
Hey, Oni, you remember Lulabelle, don't you?
Yeah, howdy, Lulu Bell.
I'm very happy to make your acquaintance again, Oni.
Mr. Appleknocker, you must not laugh at the spirit.
The Applehunker.
Applehunker?
And Lulabelle.
Yes, I know.
Howdy.
Now, wait just a moment. What's going on here? Turn on the lights.
What's the matter?
These two people are laughing.
Oh, I'm sorry, Professor. But I think you've been taken for that well-known ride.
You mean this is some kind of a practical joke?
I don't know how practical it is, but it sure got a laugh.
Professor, that accent.
Yeah, they went out when poor Oni jumped up from the pig waller.
Oh, I see. Well, look here, young man. I don't see the humor, and it's going to cost you just $100 for this laugh.
Oh, it is, huh?
Yes, so you're going to walk out of here on crutches.
That's the funniest thing you said all night.
What do you want, anyway?
I just wanted to find out how phony you were. Now, you ought to be ashamed taking advantage of old ladies like Mrs. Van Dyke.
Professor.
Shut up. Who are you?
The name's Diamond. Look me up sometime. I'm in the phone book under detectives. Come on, Ellen. I've Gotta go see the old girl and wise her up to this louse. Helen and I left the professor and his witch and went out on the street. I hailed a cab and put Helen in it and sent her home to wait for me. 20 minutes later, I was ringing the doorbell of the Van Dyke residence. I stopped ringing and tried my knuckles, and that's when I noticed that the door was ajar. I pushed it open and walked in. I stopped cold in my tracks. The hair on my neck jumped off and hid in the corner. Lying on the bed was what looked like a body. I couldn't tell because it was covered with a sheet. I was sure of one thing. Whatever it was bleeding all over the place, and the first word that came to my mind was murder. I pulled the sheet back and took a look at what could only have been Mrs. Myrna Van Dyke. She was about 60, and she was wearing a quilted housecoat. She didn't have to worry about trying to button it, because it was pinned together at the neck with a long knife.
Well, Diamond, you sure can dig 'em up, can't you?
Huh? Oh, Otis, how did you get here?
After you left the station, I called the lieutenant and told him you'd been in and you was acting screwy. He told me to tell you. Now, I'm glad I did.
Oh, mess, isn't it?
Yeah, stabbed in the throat. Looks like she was getting ready for bed. That's a towel around her head, ain't it?
Could be her hair, but I doubt it. It says Adams Hotel on it.
Let's take a look around.
Oh, hey, got a load of this.
What?
Over here on the dressing table.
Hey, ain't that a wig?
It sure is. I want to look at the body again.
You can't do that. You ain't supposed to touch anything.
I'm just taking off this towel. Well.
She's bald.
Yep, nearly. Otis, check on Professor Leonardo and Dr. Langley.
They the guys you picked out of the rogues gallery this morning?
Yeah.
I already did. The doc lives on Charles Street, apartment 209.
You mean you did all that by your little lonesome?
Well, when I talked to the lieutenant, he told me to, just in case.
You continually amaze me, Sergeant.
Yeah.
Now call the wagon and get the coroner over here. And get some of the boys to pick up the phony professor.
Where you going?
Over to the good doctor's house. The body's been dead about an hour. That would make it between 7 and 8. Now, you see if the professor's got an alibi, and I'll check back here.
Hey, I don't know whether I'll let you go or not.
Sergeant.
Yeah?
Bye. I went out and grabbed another cab for Charles Street. It was dark out, and the heavy fog was rolling in and staking a claim on the city. By the time I reached the doctor's, it was thick enough to be sliced up and sold in large economy cartons. The doc didn't answer my knock, so I went in anyway. I stumbled into a little two-room joint that looked like a chick sales architectural achievement. The doctor was not home, and neither were his clothes and toothbrush, so I started casing. I tore the place apart and came up with a big fat 0, but that was before I looked in the wastepaper basket. Among the trash, I found a rental bill for a hangar and an airplane at the flyaway airport on Long Island. I grabbed the phone and called Sergeant Otis.
Yeah?
Otis, this is Diamond.
Oh, the boys are here now. You were right about the time of death, around 7:30.
What about the professor?
We sent a car over to pick him up, but he skipped. We got some dame, though, and she told us that the prof was giving one of them C answers from 7 to 8.
Did you check it?
Yeah, and you was.
Good. Now check and see who gets the dead woman's money in the event of her death.
Well, how am I going to find her lawyer at this time of night?
Just find him and meet me at the flyaway airport on Long Island.
Okay. Did you get the doctor?
That's what I'm going to do now. And if this fog keeps up, I've still got a good chance. Sometimes a case starts off like a party and ends up like a funeral. This was one of those times, and when it happens, you're never really prepared for it, so you've got to work fast. I used my last $10, besides the $200 the girl had given me, and got to Flyaway Airport in a hurry. The fog was so heavy, I had to almost kick it aside, but I finally found the row of hangars and started looking. I reached the last hangar when I spotted the plane. It was sitting on the strip, and as I moved nearer, I could see the man.
Who's that? Who is that?
I got a gun out, Doctor, so just stand the way you are.
Who are you? What do you want?
I want that little suitcase you've got. I want to take you back to the police.
Police? Oh, what on earth for?
Mrs. Van Dyke is dead, been murdered.
Oh.
Oh, now, come on, stop that.
Why, I know nothing about the killing. I swear I had nothing to do with it.
What's in that suitcase?
Why, just some clothes.
Not the Van Dyke collection of jewels?
Of course not. What would I want with them?
Miss Nancy Van Dyke seemed to think you did.
Oh, that's absurd. Here, you can look at the bag if you like, sir.
Well, I'd like. Let's take a walk over here where we can see some light.
If you insist.
Where are you between 7 and 8 this evening, Doctor?
Why,
I was at home.
Now, you're a two-time loser. If you're lying, they'll wash your mouth for 20 years.
You know about my record, do you?
Looked it up this afternoon.
Well, I suppose I may as well tell you. I wasn't home until nearly 8.
Where were you?
Mrs. Van Dyke's apartment. I was supposed to put her jewels in the downstairs vault.
What happened?
She was dead when I got there.
You sure she was dead?
Yes. Lying on the bed under a sheet. Pulled it back, saw she'd been stabbed in the throat. I left, packed, came out here. I knew I'd be accused, but I didn't do it.
Hold it. Here's a light. Well, if the jewels are in this bag, you're going to be in a tough spot.
You're welcome to look.
Thanks, loads.
Oh!
Whatever it was, it caught me across the back of the head, and I went down like a dead palm tree in a hurricane. It wasn't the doctor who had lowered the boom, but someone who had sneaked up in the fog and gotten around behind me. I wasn't knocked out, and I could still hear things, so I just lay there and listened.
Oh, thank goodness you came along. He was going to take me to the police because someone had killed Mrs. Van Dyke and stolen her jewels. He thought I had them. What are you doing? No! No! No!
I rolled over and looked at the doctor. He was very dead. I got up as fast as I could and started after the killer, but in that fog, it was like looking for a hangnail in a mine shaft. I went into one hangar after another, and I guess if you keep after it long enough, sometimes you get lucky. I went into the last hangar and stopped to listen. Okay, you, come on out. If I have to come in after you, it's going to be the hard way. Well, you're the boss. Now, why don't you stop it? You can't see me any better than I can see you, but I've got the door covered. Now, come on out. If I guess right, that's one big sergeant, and he's so stupid he's liable to shoot you.
Diamond! Diamond, where are you?
In here, Otis. Watch your step. We're playing cops and robbers.
What do you mean? What are you talking about? Oh, stop.
You all right, Otis?
Yeah, but this cement's hard.
Crawl over here.
Okay. Hey, who's shooting?
Well, one of two people. Just shot Dr. Langley back on the airstrip.
Yeah? Why don't you blast him?
I guess I'll have to. He doesn't want to come out. Otis, crawl over about 12 feet and make him shoot.
Me?
Yeah, I want to get a good line on him. He's behind those oil drums, and I've got to stand up to do it.
Oh, all right. Hey, Diamond, now?
Yes, Otis, now. Okay, like I said, you're the boss.
I've been hit.
Come on, Otis.
Good shoot.
Glad you like it. Well, how about you, Professor?
I'm not happy. I got all 3 of them.
He won't be around long. Why did you hit me, and why did you kill the doctor?
I wanted the bag. I thought the jewels were in it.
Aren't they?
No, I opened it back here. I thought the doctor was double-crossing me.
Well, if you ain't got the jewels, why'd you try to kill the old lady?
I didn't.
Oh, come on. This ain't no time to lie.
He isn't lying, Otis. You told me yourself his alibi was good.
Hey, that's right. Then who did?
The one who would benefit most by the death of the woman. The one who had a perfect setup because 2 con artists could be blamed for it. Let's go.
Yeah, what about this guy? How do you feel, Professor?
Oh. Like I said, Otis, you keep. Come on, let's go.
Well, hello, Mr. Diamond. You come to see the bathing suit?
I hope it comes in stripes.
What?
This is Sergeant Otis, homicide.
Has someone been killed?
Your aunt.
Oh, no.
Isn't that touching, Sergeant?
Yeah.
For that horrible doctor. Well, you've got to arrest him.
Why would he want to do it?
Why, for the jewels, of course.
Now, put your hat on. You must have known that the doctor was going to get the jewels tonight, so you killed your aunt, knowing he'd get there and wouldn't have an alibi.
Why, you're insane.
The trouble was, he got so scared he ran off without him. So he had no motive.
That it was the professor.
Strike 2. He didn't have them either.
You're crazy. You can't prove a thing. I didn't stab my aunt.
Oh, who said she was stabbed?
Well, I just...
Something else tipped me to you. The minute I took a good look at your aunt, I knew it couldn't have been a man who'd done the job.
Why not? You're just presuming.
Because there were no signs of a struggle. Your aunt must have known the killer pretty well.
She knew the doctor very well.
Well enough to meet him with a towel around her head and her wig in plain sight on the dresser?
What?
Yeah. And I got in touch with a lawyer, and he said you was the sole heir to the estate.
Were, Sergeant.
Oh, yeah. You were the sole heir, and I'm arresting you because I were there and saw the wig.
correspondence of fortune teller.
Yeah, he's going to have to think up a new racket. Like contacting the living.
What?
No, forget it. What's to eat?
I'll go look in the icebox.
Bring some milk, will you, dear?
Mm-hmm. If you'll play something.
I'll try.
Oh, no, not again!
Oh, swell. Can't you get on the night shift or something?
I can't get anything around here, especially sleep. Now, please, will you kindly shut your big fat face?
What do you mean? I haven't sung anything yet.
Oh, but you will. I just know you will.
Well, if you insist.
Oh, no, please, please. I'm a nervous man.
Oh, it calms you right down. Don't blame me for falling in love with you. I'm under your spell, but how can I help it? Don't blame me. Can't you see when you do the things you do? If I can't conceal the thrill that I'm feeling, don't blame me.
Oh, that's pretty. Don't stop.
Oh, I must. Food looks too good.
Did I hear you talking to someone?
Mm-hmm. Listen. Don't blame me for falling in love with you.
I don't hear anything.
Oh, that's funny. He was there a minute ago. Don't blame me for falling in love with you.
I still don't hear anything. Rick, who are you calling?
Sergeant Otis. I'm afraid the guy next door just cut his throat.
You have just heard Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell. Helen was played by Virginia Gregg. Also in our cast were Wilms Herbert, Ted Osborne, Peggy Weber, and Jack Crucian. Music was under the direction of Frank Worth. Richard Diamond is written by Blake Edwards and directed by Richard Sandville. And now, Dick Powell.
Friends, I want to remind you of the wonderful group of programs NBC has on tap for tomorrow afternoon and evenings. Shows like Hollywood Calling, Guy Lombardo, Four-Star Playhouse, and the Ethel Merman Show. For the best in radio listening tomorrow and always, keep your dial turned to your favorite NBC station.
Dick Powell soon will be seen in the screen version of the best-selling novel, Mrs. Mike. Now, this is Eddie King inviting you to be with us again at the same time next week when we will again bring you Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, Private Detective. This program has come to you from Hollywood. Theater Guild on the Air returns tomorrow night on NBC.
Listen while the makers of Rexall drug products and 10,000 independent Rexall family druggists bring you Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, Private Detective.
Good evening. This is your Rexall family druggist, speaking to you for the 10,000 independent druggists who have made the word Rexall part of our own store names and put the orange and blue Rexall sign on our windows. We've done that because we recommend and sell the 2,000 or more drug products made by the Rexall Drug Company. A good example of their quality is Bismarex, Rexall's popular antacid. Bismarex often relieves acid stomach within 1 minute. And because its scientifically balanced ingredients vary in the time it takes them to dissolve in the stomach, the relief they give is not only quick, but continuous and prolonged. Quality like that of Bismarex is what we family druggists are talking about when we tell you you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall. Now your Rexall Family Druggist brings you another exciting half hour with Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell.
Come in.
You, Mr. Richard Diamond?
That's right, but keep it quiet and we'll split the reward.
Well, my name is Tobias P. Briggs.
He ducked as he edged through the door. If he hadn't, he'd have taken the whole wall with him. Nearly 7 feet, going up with a pair of shoulders that made King Kong look like a before picture for dynamic tension. But being a guy who lives dangerously, I shook his hand, made a mental note to pick up my scattered knuckles, and offered him a chair.
Thank you. Mr. Diamond, how much would it cost for you to help me?
Well, I usually break my back for $100 a day in expenses.
Oh, that's a lot of money.
I break a lot of back. Let's talk some more, though. Guys your size usually don't need help.
Well, I got the money. Been saving. You see, I wrestle 2, maybe 3 times a week at the Universal Arena. I promised Mike I'd put 1 purse a week in the bank. He was saving, too.
Who's Mike?
Mike Burton. He's dead, Mr. Diamond.
Oh, I'm sorry, Toby. Who was Mike?
Well, Mike and me was buddies from the Army. He was a great guy, Mr. Diamond. A real great guy.
What happened to him?
Mike drove a truck for an outfit here in town. Cross-State Trucking Company. We had enough money saved, we were going to get our own truck, maybe 2 trucks, do our own hauling, be in business for ourselves, you know. Last week he was fixing a flat on the highway at night. The car hit him and took off.
Oh, hit and run, huh? Well, it's a lousy deal, Toby, and I know what you're leading up to. But the police will hunt the guy down sooner or later. I don't handle traffic accidents.
Mr. Diamond, I feel maybe it was no accident.
Oh? Well, then keep going.
Well, last week, night before it happened, Mike says to me, "Toby, boy, I got a hunch we're going into business real quick now." He said we might be able to buy our first truck right after his next haul. Mike knew we didn't have that kind of dough ready.
What did he say when you reminded him?
He gave me a wink and a punch in the arm. You know, like guys do sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great guy, Mr. Diamond.
Oh, well, I see. Now, look, Toby, the afternoon's pretty well shot anyway. I'll poke around town a little, and if I can find anything to back up your suspicions, I'll take the case. If not, you owe me 2 tickets to your next match. Is it a deal?
Yeah, sure. But tell me right away if you know something, huh? I'm in the gym every morning right behind the Universal Sports Arena, 8th Avenue. You know where it is.
Oh, sure, yes. Some of my best muscles grew up there. So long, Toby.
So.
When he walked out, the office seemed to shrink back to normal. I counted my fingers, picked the one with the most circulation in it, and put it to work dialing Helen's number. I told her I might be late for dinner, threw her a kiss over the pipe, closed the office, and headed for the 5th Precinct Police Station and Lieutenant Walt Levinson. Walt was out of his office, but the king of the jungle, Sergeant Otis, was plopped in his chair. Number 14's crossed and resting on the desk like he was expecting a promotion.
Hello, Shamus. For a guy who don't work here, you certainly hang around a lot.
I could say the same for you, Otis. Where's the lieutenant?
He ain't here.
No.
Well, he ain't.
Isn't.
Okay, he isn't. And you isn't as smart as you think you is.
Oh, hello, Rick. What's up?
Oh, hiya, Walt. Nothing, probably. But I'd appreciate a look-see at the hit-and-run files for the last week. Might be a case.
Oh, now it's traffic accidents. Diamond, is there anything you won't do for a buck?
Sergeant, ask me for the next dance and you'll find out.
All right, cut it out, you two. Here you are, Rick. Take this note to Sergeant for our hit-and-run felony detail. It's down at the end of the hall.
Thanks, Walt.
You bet. Otis.
Yeah?
Sergeant Otis, do you mind if I sit down now?
Oh, yes, sir. Sorry, Lieutenant.
Farrar in Hit and Run gave me the case folder on Mike Burton. Except for a few details, nothing different than Toby's story. Only witness to the supposed accident was a man named Roy Cooley, Mike's driving partner. He had made the identification on the car when the police found it deserted the next day. A quick check on the license had shown it to be stolen. So another lead went down the drain. Only the fact that it had been stolen made me think that Toby might have been right when he said it wasn't an accident. I hit the street and grabbed a cab for the Cross-State Trucking Company. From outside the wire fence, there wasn't much to see. A long line of diesel trucks parked side by side. I spotted something that looked like an office and went in. There was a girl inside. Oh, maybe not just a girl. She parked her bubble gum and gave her blonde upsweep a pat.
Can I help you?
Well, if you couldn't, I'd kill myself.
Listen, mister, if you've got some business here, you better...
Honey, I'm looking for Roy Cooley. Know him?
That's a good one. Mr. Cooley's my boss. Believe me, I know him. He's not around right now.
Cooley's your boss? Well, if you don't mind, I'll wait.
What company are you with, Mr.
Diamond. Richard. I am, you should excuse the expression, a private detective.
A private eye? Gee, I never met a private eye before. I thought it was just a kind of story thing.
Well, it is, in a way.
My name's Patty. For Patricia. I'm sort of a bookkeeper stenographer around here.
Sounds like a big job for just one pretty girl.
Oh, you're just saying that. I really was lucky to get such a job, especially when I had no experience. Just 1 week out of business school, and popo, I go to work for a big company at $65 a week.
And what is the secret of your success, Miss Carnegie?
My second name's Jablonski, Patty Jablonski. Between you and me, Mr. Diamond, the job's a snap. See all those trucks out there? Well, most of them just sit like that. We don't make more than 10 shipments a week. You know something? The company's been in the red the whole 6 months I've been here.
Really?
But I like it here. I can dress kind of casual, sweaters and things.
Yeah. Tell me, dear, did you know Mike Burton?
Gee, I sure did. Did you know him?
How come the boss, Roy Cooley, was driving with Mike the night it happened?
He was, wasn't he? Well, I guess that's because Tim Lasco quit a couple of days before. Tim used to be Mike's regular wheel buddy. Mr. Cooley was filling in, I guess.
Any idea why Tim Lasco quit?
Search me. In times like these, when a guy with 5 kids quits his job, he must have had a good reason.
You wouldn't have Tim's address lying around anywhere, would you?
Right on my desk. I'm mailing his last check out.
I wrote down Lasco's address and paid her off with a few compliments before I left. Tim Lasco's place seemed like the next stop until I saw a couple of warehousemen loading crates into one of the trucks. The crates were marked sporting goods in a big black stencil. And just to keep busy, I found a piece of scratch paper and took down the address they were being shipped to. About that time, a hairy hand reached over my shoulder and made crumpled spitball out of my manuscript. I did a slow turn and saw that the hand was connected to a beer barrel with legs. It talked, too.
Looking for something, mister?
Who are you?
I'm the boss, Cooley.
Oh, well, my name's Diamond. The union sent
You can
me over
forget
to...
that routine. I spoke to the union guys 3 days ago. Beat it, scram.
Oh. How come you were driving with Mike Burton the night he was killed?
Mister, you're asking for it. There's a little sign on the front gate you can read on the way out about trespassers. This is private property. Now, are you going, or do I call some of the boys?
It hurt me to admit that he had the law on his side, not to mention the lump under his jacket from what was probably the new look in shoulder holsters. I figured to do better after a talk with Tim Lasco. 20 minutes later, I was climbing the stairs of a brownstone in Washington Heights. The Lascos lived on the 3rd floor. I straightened my tie and put my best finger forward.
Yes?
Oh, hello. I'm looking for Tim Lasco.
Oh, come right in. My husband is shaving.
Who is it, Mary?
Amanda, see you, Tim.
Okay. All right. Excuse me. Call me shaving. Sit down.
Thank you. Tim, you used to ride with Mike Burton, didn't you?
Hey, who are you? What do you want here?
Well, I'm a private detective. Name's Diamond.
Now, Mr. Diamond, or whoever you are, I don't know nothing. Nothing, you hear? Leave my family and me alone. Will you go away? Please, go away.
Why did you quit the cross-state trucking outfit?
Honest, Diamond, I don't know nothing. Look, I've been a truck driver 15 years. I didn't like Cooley's outfit. Most of the work is at night. Too many long hauls out west. I didn't like the job.
Tim. Won't buy it.
Diamond, try to understand, will you? I got 5 kids. Give me a break, will you?
There was no sense going around again. I told him I'd be back, which he took about as gracefully as a guy learning he had leprosy, so I left. I rode downtown, squatted on a stool in a coffee shop with a good view of the cross-state warehouse. The coffee shop had a waitress who was as ugly as the warehouse.
Got a 75-cent dinner special. You interested?
I'll have a little coffee and...
A lot of donuts.
Oh, well, then coffee and conversation.
Is there any chance of you taking me away from all this?
Wouldn't work out. I drink.
I'll reform you. Want cream?
No.
1 black. How come you're staring at that warehouse instead of me? Want to give me a complex? What's the matter? Did I say a dirty word?
We kicked it around until the warehouse was empty, except for a muscle-bound night watchman who chain smoked behind the front gate. It was a short walk to the fence behind the loading dock. A garbage can and some fancy scrambling helped me over. And then I squirreled under the line of trucks until I reached the one they'd loaded that afternoon. The crates were nailed tight, and it took a lot of scratching and pulling before I wedged one open. About then, I heard 3 pairs of feet echoing down the loading platform. I ducked out of the truck, but that half-open crate must have missed me after all the time we'd spent together because it spilled over and turned loose a shower of baseball bats. I grabbed one since it seemed like a good idea and snuggled up against the huge tires under the truck.
Who's there? Hey, Red, you let anyone in?
Not me, boy.
Whoever you are, Buster, you better come out with your hands up. We got guns. Okay, Red, you and Harry stay out in front of the trucks. I'll go coax our visitor out.
He was poking around gun first in each truck and then around it. Sooner or later, he was going to reach my truck. So I sprinted across an open 10 yards until I got into a friendly shot of the next truck in line.
All right, stay where you are. I can see you.
He was lying, and I knew it because I couldn't even see myself. There were 3 more trucks ahead of me, 3 more open spaces. Then I'd be at the back fence. I closed my mouth so my teeth wouldn't shine like a beaver at a dentist convention and moved. I reached the last truck and waited. The glint of his gun barrel kept coming at me like a one-eyed cat. I held the bat ready. It must have been a well-balanced hunk of wood because it felt like a feather in my fist. The bat cracked wide open like an overboiled hot dog, but it stretched coolly out. I didn't wait for the others to find out what happened, but I took off over that back fence like a kangaroo with his tail on fire. Once I made the street, I caught a cruising cab and relaxed until my breath caught up with me. The broken bat handle was still in my hand. I was about to chalk it up as an inferior bat until a closer look changed my mind. The inside of the bat was as hollow as a politician's promise, and it wasn't for ventilation. It was there to hide something that had to be hidden.
You're listening to Richard Diamond, Private Detective, brought to you by the makers of Rexall Drug Products and your Rexall family druggist. And here he is.
A lot of people think that during the summer they don't need to worry about the dangers of vitamin deficiency. But the truth is, vitamin deficiency is no respecter of seasons.
You mean we're just as likely to be low on vitamins during the summer as any other time?
Exactly, ma'am. And that's why I tell my customers to continue supplementing their daily diet with Rexall Plenamins.
What?
Plenamins. Rexall's famous multivitamin capsules. You see, ma'am, just 2 Plenamin capsules a day give you more than your daily minimum requirement of every vitamin for which such requirements have been established.
Say, that's really vitamin protection.
But that's not all. Plenamins also give you valuable liver concentrate and iron, plus other factors of the vitamin B complex.
Gee, they sound expensive.
On the contrary, Plenamins cost you only pennies a day. But most important, Plenamins wear the Rexall label, and you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Now back to tonight's adventure with Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell.
So I had the stump of a hollow baseball bat in my hand and a half dozen theories about why it was hollow. But none of my theories proved any connection between a phony trucking outfit and Mike Burton being killed by a hit-and-run driver. I put the bat under lock and key in my office desk, then stopped at the Hall of Records where Pop McIntyre handles the night watchman chores. Under registered corporations, I found the Cross-State Trucking Company and the up-to-now unknown name of Harry Fenner listed as its head. I thanked Pop, then went across town to check through the newspaper morgue at the Tribune. It was an all-night job because I had to dig back to 1926 before the name of Harry Fenner sprang off the yellow pages. He used to be a small-time bootlegger, but I couldn't hold that against him. Some of the biggest bootleggers had gone straight and become used car salesmen. I had breakfast before dropping in at the Universal Gym to see Toby. The king-sized client of mine was being mauled in the center of the ring while a chunky little guy in a black beret was hopping around full of advice.
No, Toby. You're wrestling with King Kong Rabinowitz, not Snow White. Use your knees. On his nose.
Okay. How's this?
No, don't overdo
the television camera too long. What's the good if no one sees them suffer?
Hey, Toby.
Oh, hiya, Mr. Diamond. Ziggy will be back in a minute.
I know you're busy, Toby, so I won't waste time.
You found out something about Mike, didn't you? I was right, huh?
Well, let's just say that I'm taking the case. Toby, now think hard. Did Mike ever say anything about baseball bats? Anything?
Baseball bat.
Yeah?
Sunday before Mike was killed. Yeah, he said something kind of funny. He said maybe he'd hit a home run pretty soon. And Mike never played baseball.
Oh. Toby, when you get through here, meet me in my office. I'll tell you what I've got, and we can take it from there.
Okay. See you soon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Diamond. My name is, Harry Fenner.
Oh. Well, who are those two bullet-headed characters with you?
They're my business associates.
Oh, you must be in a rotten business. How'd you get in here? I just had the exterminators over last week.
Oh, well, I'm afraid I owe you for a new lock. I'll just add it to the retainer I'm going to pay you.
Oh, you're going to hire me?
I have here $500, which I place on your desk. Earning it will be easy.
Under whose nails do I put the bamboo splints?
I hope your good humor continues. The fact is, Diamond, I collect odd things, like antique furniture, marine life specimens, and, old bat handles. Someone stole one of my old bat handles. Money's yours if you can locate it.
Something like that would be worth more than money to me. An old bat handle would go just right with my collection of old saxophone reeds and croquet mallets.
Is that your polite way of saying no?
No, it's my impolite way of saying that a certain bat handle is going to win you the hottest seat in Sing Sing. And if you think I'm bluffing, let's see what they think down at the 5th Precinct.
Put down that phone.
Ooh. He cracked me across the knuckles with a cane he was carrying, and my left hand took the day off. Then Fenner turned to his two happiness boys.
Gentlemen, Mr. Diamond is stubborn. Unstubborn him.
His two blood collectors came after me like there was a shortage of plasma. I dodged around the desk like a loose guinea pig in a biology class and finally managed to locate a stomach for my one good hand. I sunk it in up to my charm bracelet. But before I could enjoy the reaction, a fistful of dimes creased the back of my head and I came apart. I don't know how long it was before my eyes unglued. I was on my back enjoying a bug's eye view of the ceiling, but that's all I was enjoying. My head felt like a yo-yo being worked by a guy with a DTs. And then something big leaned over me.
Mr. Diamond? Mr. Diamond, you okay?
Oh, yeah, dandy. Oh, Toby, if I felt any worse, I'd be dead.
Oh, that's too bad. It's a good thing I got here. Those guys are doing a swell job on you for real.
Oh, things came back into focus. Fenner's muscle men were draped over each other in the middle of the floor, quietly unconscious. It was becoming.
I had to get pretty rough with them. It was 2 against 1. Them and me, I mean. What's it all about, Mr. Diamond?
I gave Toby a quick resume about Fenner, Cooley, and the phony trucking business, including the hollow bats. As he listened, I saw new muscles growing on his old ones. He wasn't interested in details.
Mr. Diamond, did this Fenner guy kill Mike?
Well, Toby, I think Mike found out that Fenner and Cooley were shipping hot goods, probably jewels, in the hollow bats. If he did, I think maybe Fenner killed him.
Where does this Fenner guy live?
Oh, wait a minute. It's here on my desk. I was just going to give it to the police when I was crudely interrupted.
No, don't call the cops. Give me that address.
What's the idea, Toby? We've got the score. It's a cop's job now.
No, I say no. This Fenner, he got lots of dough. If he did kill Mike, he gets a big lawyer and he goes free. I don't want that, Mr. Diamond. I'll find out.
I tried to cool him down, keep him in the office. Then I found myself airborne. He bounced me against the wall, and I decided not to do anything until the room stopped circulating.
Sorry about this, Mr. Diamond, because you're an all right guy. But don't try to stop me on this.
I got up and weaved over to my desk, phoned Walt, and gave him Fenner's address in Long Island.
Why should I meet you there?
Murder, Walt, and bring some friends. Fenner's house was a big white colonial with high French windows looking out on a big garden. The windows were closest, so I moved up and looked in. The room was a library, or what was left of it. Toby had torn it apart and was now concentrating on Fenner. He had him backed up against a tall bookcase, holding him by the front of his smoking jacket. high enough so Fenner's toes pointed down, trying to touch the carpet a good foot beneath. Toby had the jacket pulled tightly around Fenner's throat, and Fenner was trying for the $64 bread.
What'd you kill him for? Come on, what'd you kill him for?
Hey, Toby! Toby, let him go.
Oh, he's gonna tell me. You stay out of this. He's gonna tell me or I break his rotten neck.
He's too choked up, Toby. Couldn't answer you if you wanted to. Now let him down. Let him down.
Okay. Now, talk, Fenner, talk.
Diamond, get this maniac away from me. Well, ask me something simple, like moving the Empire State Building. You better talk, Fenner. I don't know what you want.
You're a liar. You're no good liar. All right. Hey, that's better. Now, why'd you kill Mike?
He was loading some of the bats. When one broke open and...
Come on. The diamond spilled out.
He wanted a cut. Big cut. So I had Cooley make the last trip with him. I was following in a hot car. That's it. Now let me go, will you?
Kill a nice guy like that.
He would have framed me.
You're a liar. Now I'm gonna kill you.
Toby!
Toby grabbed Fenner, and I grabbed Toby. But it was like trying to put the brakes on a charging elephant. Toby hung on to Fenner's throat and shook me loose. Fenner was dying fast. And it looked like I couldn't do much about it until the door opened and trouble sneaked in from left field. Cooley.
Break it up, Cooley. Cooley, help me.
You better relax, Toby. That gun in Mr. Cooley's hand gives him the floor.
He's the other one, ain't he, Mr. Diamond?
Cooley, give it to him. Right in the middle.
And then I heard the heavenly sound of flat feet. Cooley half turned for a moment, but it was enough for me to push Toby behind a couch and dive in after him.
Quick! Cooley, let him have it.
Cooley spun back around and tried his luck anyway, but missed. He and Fenner made a rush to the window, but some of Walt's men were waiting for them. They tried to shoot it out. Cooley never got more than 1 foot over the windowsill. Fenner did better, but he was dead when he hit the ground.
Rick, are you all right, Rick?
Oh, if it wasn't, you'd never hear the end of it.
Mr. Diamond, you don't really believe what that punk said about Mike, do you? Mike was a straight guy all his life.
Toby, this clean-cut gentleman standing right next to me is Lieutenant Walter Levinson of Homicide.
Right.
What I tell him is official, so you listen. Look, Walt, Fenner and Cooley were part of a fence setup. Bought stolen goods, sold them out west. The Cross-State Trucking Company was just a blind. Well, that just about cleans it up, Toby. You see, Mike probably suspected something, and they were afraid he'd go to the police. That's why they killed him.
Sure, I knew it was that way. Thanks, Mr. Diamond. Well, I better get back to town. Ziggy's got me matched tonight.
Good luck, Toby.
Thanks. Say, Mr. Diamond, I'd sure like to have you and the lieutenant come watch me wrestle tonight.
Thanks, Toby. Maybe some other time.
Oh, it'll be a great show. Tonight's my turn to win.
Yeah, well, we'll see. So long, Toby.
So long.
Rack. Yeah? That connection between Mike Burton and this racket didn't sound kosher. Was that for the record?
No, Walt. But Toby will never see the record. Oh, Helen, honey, please. Cut that Victrola off, will you?
Rick, you still didn't tell me if Mike really intended to get mixed up with Fenner and Cooley.
Well, he did. That's where he was getting the extra money he spoke about to Toby. Oh, excuse me.
Rick, where are you going?
I'm just going to shut this guy off. He's putting me to sleep.
Oh, I suppose you could do better.
Well, you think not? Honey, just sit down and listen to me. Pale hands I loved beside the Shalimar. Where are you now? Now tell me, honey, how do I rate alongside that suffering crooner on the record?
That record happens to be an original release. The suffering crooner is Enrico Caruso.
Oh. Where does a guy go to slash his wrist?
Dick Powell will be back in just a moment. Now, once more, here's your Rexall family druggist.
No faster acting aspirin made. That's Rexall aspirin. Yes, when taken with water, the 5 full grains of pure aspirin contained in every Rexall aspirin tablet are ready to go to work for you even before they reach your stomach. So next time you have a headache, remember Rexall aspirin. There's no faster acting aspirin made. Ask for Rexall aspirin at Rexall drugstores everywhere. And remember, you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those who recognize it, the future is for sale. You can buy it now, today. You can buy it by saving. And there's no surer, more profitable means of saving than through the purchase of United States savings bonds. In the first place, United States saving bonds are safe, guaranteed by your country. Moreover, they put your saving dollars to work for you. For every $3 invested today in Class E bonds, you'll receive $4 back in just 10 years when the bonds mature. So make sure of the years ahead with United States savings bonds. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's script was written by Harold Jack Bloom and Joe Moorheim. Music was under the direction of Frank Worth. And this is Dick Powell asking you to listen in again next Wednesday at this same time when we do it all over again. Please listen in. I'm going to hit somebody on the head. Good night, everybody.
You have just heard transcribed Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell. This is Bill Foreman speaking.
Hiya, beautiful.
Get lost, Bristlepuss. You need a shave.
But I have shaved. What else do you want me to do?
Silly boy, she wants you to go Stag.
Go Stag? But why?
Because Stag is Rexall's exclusive line of men's good grooming aids, like Stag Brushless Shave Cream. No fuss, no massage, just smooth it on, and presto, you get a clean, close shave. Your face stays smooth and whiskerless all day long.
I'll do it. I'll go Stag.
That's it. Join the Stag line now at Rexall drugstores everywhere.
Yes, to make girls care. Go Stag.
Jack Late tells stories of the underworld, Friday on NBC.